everyone. Welcome to Three Bone Theater's YouTube channel. My name is Tiffany Bryant-Jackson, Education Manager, and we're here to talk about primary trust some more. If you have seen the show, you know where we're heading. If you haven't, there are no spoilers, but I will tell you this show deals with some serious subjects. And because we knew we were dealing with that, we brought on a consultant for this show, a mental health consultant. So we brought on a therapist, Allegra. Say hello, Allegra.
Hello, I'm Allegra.
And Allegra joined us through the process. She joined us in the beginning and she joined us with our cast as we worked to shape this show in a way that was responsible to not just our cast, but responsible to what we were putting out there in the world. Allegra, tell us a little bit about your work and what you do.
Sure. So I am a licensed mental health therapist, and I have experience working in different settings with individuals, couples, families. I provide mental health support, and I've worked with people who suffer from symptoms related to anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, lots of mood disorders, a few personality disorders here and there. I am trained in trauma care, EMDR, behavioral modification, and I do a lot of solution focused, client centered work so that we can really work on what it takes to improve the quality of someone's life.
Fantastic. And this particular show, we are following Kenneth, who has dealt with trauma in his life. And because we knew that we are not the experts, we might be the experts on theater, we're not the experts on trauma, we wanted to bring someone into the room. So, Allegra, tell us about your perspective of coming in the first time and kind of reading the script and being with the cast and what that felt like to you as a consultant.
Sure. Honestly, if I'm, being completely honest, my first experience with reading the script was overwhelming. It was packed, it is packed with so many small innuendos that really touch on a wide variety of mental health concerns. And the reason it was overwhelming was because it was so beautifully crafted and so intricate, so delicately woven into the fabric of the play. It was just an amazing experience, and working to see it actually come to life was just, it was very moving. It was overwhelming, but very moving.
And I will let you all know, Allegra held space for our actors just to have conversations and ask questions so they can dig through some of what they're reading. And that space of vulnerability also helped us really connect and create the show we had. So when we initially asked you to consult on the show, did you have an idea of what you were getting into, or did it all seem a little foreign to you?
I had no idea, just because I wasn't sure what you all were going to need from me. Like I said, a lot of my approach to mental health support is very client centered. So I really want to make sure that I remove myself from the space and center my client. And that's kind of how I approached working with the cast members. I wanted to make sure that I was providing the support that they needed, regardless of any biases that I might have had, my own personal journey with mental health support as an individual, as a professional. I just wanted to make sure that I was being supportive and centering their needs, answering their questions, providing clarification on some of the things that they felt they needed to show up fully in their roles.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, so this show follows a young black man as he's dealing with it. And culturally, I've heard a lot of things about black men and mental health that do not always push them towards mental health. So I am curious, we talked about in the process, like everyone can use a little bit of mental health care, right? It's essential. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on really what that disconnect is in some cultures and getting mental health help.
Sure. How much time do you have?
I mean, I wish I had more time, but I got a little bit of
Sure.
time for the YouTube
So
audience.
historically, Black men have been emasculated in so many ways, and Black masculinity is so fragile because there has to be a balance between strength, but also softness and vulnerability. So that is where the that's where mental health support comes in. helping Black men find that balance so that they maintain this space for Black masculinity, but it doesn't become what people are calling now toxic masculinity. And that's a very difficult balance to find because there's so many things that have to be addressed. It literally spans across every season of life. Every season of life is going to challenge that space, and we have to find balance every time the season changes.
I think you're absolutely right. And I do want to point out to people here, while we are having a shortened version of this conversation on YouTube, Allegra will be at the show on Sunday, the 15th, for you to ask questions and really dig more. So just because we're doing a lot, big overview doesn't mean that you won't have an opportunity to ask more questions. And note that even if you do not watch the show on Sunday, you can come to the talk back. So if you've watched it already, and still want to come and be a part of the talk back, you can come post show and do that. So I wanted to point that out. Allegra, it is a tough time in general for a lot of people. We're navigating the world where it feels like it's on fire and maybe someone doesn't know where to start. Where's somewhere you would say start first if we're trying to figure out how to get help or where to go?
Sure. I would say start by talking to a healthcare provider that you trust. So that might be your primary care physician, or if you have a professional that you trust who works in the healthcare field, so that if you need a referral for mental health support, they will be able to direct you in the direction of direct you in the direction. Been a long week, y'all. They'll be able to point you in the direction of how to find the support that you need. A lot of times, um, we only reach out for support when we are already in crisis. And by that time, we have no idea what we need because we are looking for a way out of that crisis. So by talking to a professional, someone who's outside of the crisis, they can give you a better idea of the type of support that you need. Also, there are with everything that happened with 2020 and the epidemic, the outbreak, there's so many new ways to access mental health support now. So if you feel like going to an office traditionally does not work for you, I know I provide virtual appointments. There are so many other providers who you can access online. There are online support systems that offer emergency services. So again, if you feel like, I just need something to get through right now, I'm not looking for something long term, you can look into that as well. Also, there's an aspect of medication that might be helpful. Some people prefer medication over talk therapy. Some people prefer a combination of the two, but all of this information can be found with a primary care physician, or just doing a simple Google search online can bring up multiple platforms that offer mental health support.
Thank you. I love that you pointed out that you don't have to wait till you're in crisis to need mental health care. It is something that is worth examining for everyone. So this is the time where I warn everybody, if they haven't seen the show or are lost to why we are specifically talking about mental health, you have 2 weekends to watch the show left. The weekend of Valentine's Day weekend. What a date, right? Or the following weekend, Thursday through Sunday. It is worth it. It's a beautiful production. Um, and you can grab a drink and talk about it post show, or you can go to dinner before the show. Allegra, if there's one thing you want people to think about if they walk away from the show, what is that one thing?
When the one thing I want people to think about is that there's a part of us that we all protect. And because of that, we sometimes spend time there where we disconnect from reality. And we're doing ourselves a disservice by doing that. Mental health support is the bridge between that space that we protect and the way we show up in reality. And finding the right type of mental health support is going to help bridge that so that we show up more authentically in our relationships and in our relationship with ourselves. And I think that's all of our goal, to just
Yeah.
be our most authentic self all the time. And mental
Sorry, folks, we got a little interrupted with technology, but we're back for Allegra to finish her sentence on authentic selves and the importance of mental health.
Right. So, like I was saying, our authentic self is where we're all trying to get. And mental health will help bridge the space between that authentic self and the person that we show up as. That's all we're looking for when we provide mental health support to our clients, is so that they can experience the world authentically and improve the quality of their life.
Fantastic. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I will say this particular show, I took off my education manager hat and put on my director hat. So from the director, Tiffany, I thank you for being a part of our process and helping us shape this show and really take care of the character Kenneth so that other people can not only see themselves but see their neighbors and their friends and their family in this character to make them ask questions. What could I be doing? Am I in a position where I might need that extra step? So I'm thanking you for that because that has been a valuable contribution to our show process.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Good. All right, everybody, do not miss Primary Trust. It is the Charlotte premiere, and I think if you don't believe me or Allegra, our socials have been telling you what the audience has been saying, and it's been pretty positive. So I think you might want to take some time and go check out the show, and then we'll see you on the YouTube channel next time.